Welcome back everyone to Master Game Design, Unreal Engine 5 Stylized Environment and third-person blueprint course. In the last lesson we left ourselves off by creating this sort of a building, and now we're still not quite done in regards to that, since we need a bit of a way to support this balcony. If you look at the gray box itself, we can see that there is actually a way for that, and we just create some nice arcs along the way. So we're going to make use out of that and pretty much create that same, recreate this type of look. So for us to do that, we're just going to go ahead and actually grab these pillars over here. I'm just going to grab one of them actually for now. Going to hold Alt. Actually, I'm going to grab the wall as well, might as well. And let's go ahead and hold Alt, bring it outwards like so. Bringing it up a little bit. There you go. This looks much better. Now we're going to find ourselves an arc, the one that we're looking for. And I don't think it matters which arc we're using, but I will actually just use this one over here, Arcway. I'll just go ahead and use it since it has like a nice blue tint. Wondering which side I should use. I'll probably use this one. I don't really want to put anything on the top or anything of the sort. So let's go ahead and keep it empty and just place this like so. And I'm going to make sure that this is actually going forwards a little bit. Just like that. Okay, this looks perfect. We're going to now make sure that this is overlaid. Actually, let me check how many arcs I was planning to do over here. So 3 arcs. Okay, fair enough. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to bring this a little bit forwards, like so. Quite all right. I'll bring this even further. So, and this needs to be fixed a little bit, so I'll just go ahead and do a quick fix. Like that. This one is not going to be visible. Going to go ahead and delete it. This as well. It is going to be visible, so I'll just keep it actually as is. Worried a little bit about this being sticking out, but I don't think it will be too noticeable. So I think I'll go ahead and keep it. Let's go ahead and just grab these. Hold Alt, put it up to the side. Hold Alt, put it up to the side, like so. And I'm going to actually just make a duplicate final one for this section over here. This is going to look something like this. I quite like this design. It looks quite nice, and yeah, we're pretty much done with that in regards to the arc and indoors type of a look. We can go ahead and click play and see how it looks like, and just make sure that there's no gaps around it and whatnot. For example, this area over here might have a bit of a gap, so I might need to go ahead and fix it actually. We'll actually do it just in case. So I'll just go ahead and grab this and just kind of expand it a little bit, just like so. Not too much. I think that's going to help us out a little bit. And I will take off the grid for this and just slightly move it. Slide it forwards like so there's no gap over here. And yeah, we're pretty much done with this restaurant section. The next arc is going to be over here. So this is going to be a bit of an entrance in regards to that. And yeah, let's go ahead and actually start working on this section over here. We're going to simply grab ourselves an arc. We're going to probably grab ourselves the fanciest one. So we have 3 variations, so we're just going to grab this one over here. And yeah, this looks quite nice. Go ahead and make use out of it. I'm just going to put it over here and actually check how it looks like. As you can see, we have well, some floating parts over here. The reason being is probably because, yeah, it's inverted in regards to the faces. That's going to be quite all right. Doesn't matter to us. So we're just making sure that we're rebuilding this section over here. And so this part is going to be needed to be built as well. And then we have some bit at the back, and we're going to have sort of a gate that just basically closes off this type of an entrance. So we have ourselves this, but we need to make sure we extend it a little bit. I'm going to grab this tunnel perhaps, just put it up to the side. I will actually turn on the grid lock all the way to a 10 and just kind of play around with this a little bit. See how this looks like. Probably bring it all the way to the back, just like that. And we'll need to fix up this back section a little bit in a bit. But yeah, all in all, we also need to check the collision itself, if it's working well, and if we're able to walk past it and whatnot. Certain meshes would not have that perhaps, so we need to sort it out ourselves. And yeah, once we have it like so, we need now to consider in regards to, for example, how the player is going to get up to this catapult. So we of course need to be having a bit of a higher elevation for that, which we're going to do. And I'm just going to find another arc actually. I'm going to find myself. I'm not sure which type of an arc should be used over here. So let me just go ahead and see it. Maybe it's part of extensions. And I will just go ahead and see where it looks like. There you go, pillars. We got some tunnels, supports, harbor, window, stairs, usable doors. And the ones that we're going to use is going to be, there you go, pillars. So we're going to just grab this one over here. It's already set up nicely for us. We're going to hold Alt, bring it all the way to the back, and we're going to see how this looks like. Just like that. And yeah, we don't really need to do anything for this particular part actually. I'm just going to keep it as simple as possible. It's mainly important not to overcomplicate it in regards to when building it, just keep it up with the pace and whatnot. And I'm going to grab those roofs. I'm going to actually check how they're called. They're called, actually, let's go ahead and grab it like so. And we're going to just put it up just like that. See how this looks like. Actually, this is not the right one. This is the right one. So I'm going to just quickly replace it. And there we go. We got ourselves a nice way off for the roof. There you go. We're going to turn off the gray box. Going to just make sure we have symmetrical shape in regards to the assets themselves and not the gray box. As if we look at just the gray box itself and just replace all the assets, it might not look quite as nice. So I think all in all though, it's going to be quite alright. I'd like to ideally grab one of the buildings that we have and just put it up to the side. And we might need to make ourselves a wider type of a building. Or we might even make use out of the ones that we had over here. Actually, I'll just go back and see what we have. So we have this building over here, and I made a mistake of not actually making that duplicate out of the buildings that we had previously. So for example, we're just going to real quick grab the one that we have. I will check in regards to the luxury house, so we can just go ahead and select this and right click, select all descendants like so. And I'm thinking, what's the best way of actually making a duplicate out of it? What we can probably do is we can just right click on it, a duplicate hierarchy like so, then bring it outwards. So we have a luxury house free. I'll just put it off way on the side over here. We're now outside of a level. And now we're just going to go ahead and, well, remove some of the parts that we don't need. For example, we don't need this, well, we can keep this window actually over here. Doesn't matter, we don't need this balcony. We don't need these setups over here. We just need to keep it as plain as possible, like so. And this window even over here. These parts we don't need either. So yeah, just as simple as possible, like so. And we even can probably remove this part over here at the bottom, since we're just going to use this as a support. So that's going to be quite all right. Let's go ahead and do that. We're just going to go ahead and remove all of these parts, just like that. Like so. And now we can go ahead and group this up and make use out of it actually. So I'll just go ahead and go to the top down view, make a selection, click Ctrl G, and then move it all the way to the back, just like that. All right, so let's see how we can make use out of it. Ideally, I'd prefer to have it sideways and just be placed like this, something like so. Need to stand out too much in regards to this overall section. I will also make a duplicate over here. Something like this perhaps. I don't like the roof, the way it's laid out actually with this particular section, so I might need to go ahead and change that up. I think I'll go ahead and do that. I will actually bring in this a little bit inwards as well, maybe just to help us. Yeah, I think I quite like this overall setup even further in. But now it's getting in the way over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click Ctrl Z and just keep this type of a layout. But I will click Shift and G and just kind of reposition what I have. So for example, this one, it was a duplicate. Let's go ahead and delete it. These walls over here, I can just select all of these parts like so and just bring it inwards like this. There you go. Now it looks much better. I'm going to continue and bringing it actually inwards, just like that. The walls over here can be slightly squished, just like that. Put it back to the side. Through an overlap. This wall, I don't think we even need it over here. I'll just delete these parts over as well. Or actually, I'll go ahead and keep it. It looks like a nice type of a setup over in these parts. Actually, I quite like it. I'm going to go ahead and keep it as is. The bottom, the underneath, is not going to help us with the visibility. We'll need to make sure we fix that. But before doing that, let's go ahead and fix the roofs. So the roofs themselves, I'm just going to actually make use out of this over here. Oh, seems like I duplicated by accident. So let me just go ahead and fix that. I'll just go ahead and remove the top roofs over here and just use these ones. Again, because we're using the snapping grid, it's going to be so much easier for us to block them out and position them as we want. Like so. I might even just squish them in regards to the Z value since they looked a little bit too high. Too thick. There you go. Okay, so, and whilst I'm working with this, I'm just letting you know that I'm not really concerned about the gameplay itself for the moment, just more overall the general aesthetics of the assets and whatnot. I'm going to make it quite a bit smaller. So I'm just making sure that the size, for example, fits the building and whatnot. And this part is not going to be fitting in, so I'm just going to extend it in. Extend it a little bit more. Like so, and maybe just overlap this a little bit, like so. Yeah, it looks quite nice. All right, I quite like this. I'm going to keep it as is, and this looks quite all right. This looks quite all right. Yeah, there you go. All right, going to click 1, making sure that this is not actually even visible from this corner. But if we click 2, this is going to be a bit more visible, so that's going to be quite all right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and now simply continue on with this work. We need to fix up this section, and we need to get ready with the gate, which we're actually going to continue on with this in the next lesson. And I just realized that there is a bit of a hole over here, which again, we're going to work on it in the next lesson. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in a bit.